Hello?
What is up? How about those Falcons?
They did well.
No, they lost. Who
Oh.
cares? Talking about sports in any timely manner on this podcast doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who knows?
Yay, sports.
Who knows when somebody will listen to this?
Man, that one team did really well.
Why?
And then another team did less well than expected.
Do you ever think that act is played out? You and that, oh, I like the costumes. I like the blue costumes better than the black costumes.
I'm not playing anything.
Do you not ever think that if you learn something about sports and like you went in with some knowledge, like you really blow some minds?
I don't care though.
Instead of just being the person, it's like I don't get it.
No,
Just asking. This is not an attack on you. I think about my act being played out constantly.
I'm not. I don't have an act.
Okay. I mean, I know you don't like sports, so that part isn't an act.
Yeah.
Don't.
If everybody was into reality shows and you weren't, I wouldn't come to you and say, is your act played out that you don't know? You just don't care. That's fine. I know some things about sports.
I think I would, if everyone else was talking about reality shows and I was the person, I was like, yeah, Botox, person,
no,
fake fights.
I don't do. Oh, a mosquito. Oh, I fucking killed it, dude.
Did any blood come out?
No, thank goodness. It's just that gray stuff that happens. They like turn into like dust or something. I don't know. No, I don't. If people are all talking about sports, I don't go around pretending like I don't make a joke about it. I just don't really contribute anything. You started talking about it and said that it doesn't really matter. So I was just like, yay, sports. I was being generic about the time.
Oh, no, I don't care that you did that with me because it's stupid to talk about sports on here.
Yeah, I don't do that. I mean, on the show, if you're talking about the show.
Yeah, I'm talking about that radio show you're a part of.
I mean, I don't do that. I pretend like I do know because I'm left out of the conversation on a show where we're all there. I don't do that in real life. It's not an act.
I just would like you to drop some knowledge one day. I think it would be funny.
That's different than saying, are you tired of this act that you're doing? Because I think it's dumb.
Hey.
That was the subtext.
No, you added that. That shows that you're a little insecure about it.
It belittled some way that I behaved naturally as like an not genuine and an act.
You took it. Okay, you're really leaning into the word act, which fine. Presentation.
You said that word act.
How about replace act with presentation? Are you tired of that presentation?
No.
When people come, Autumn, what do you think? Like that's the reaction they want, and you give them what they want. But if you
I don't, because I don't say like, yeah, sports ball. Like I don't say that. I repeat stuff that they just said, as I think that's smarter. Because I don't know.
I know.
So what am I supposed to do? I can't just be like, I can't actually give them knowledge. I'd have to keep up with it constantly.
You wouldn't have to keep up with it constantly.
Yes, I would. They're talking about things that happened like that weekend.
I guess that's what I was asking, really, is them asking, expecting that reaction from you. If you ever thought about, hey, I'm gonna do a little homework and throw some shit their way.
No, because it's not planned, so I don't even know, because I don't know when it's going to happen or what they're going to talk about. So I'd have to be like up on everything.
Possibly. I think we can narrow it down. I'm going to listen, then I'm going to create a chart that kind of follows along what they talk about, and then I can feed you some lines. I just like the idea of. You bring up very valid points. Calling it an act, I didn't mean it that way.
Yeah.
Is the way you took it. And I know that going into our recording, I can't present things like that because you will shut the fuck down.
Yeah.
And then I'll get nothing out of you. But that's I have
Yeah,
this.
so you bring up like something shitty about myself. Oh,
No.
you're just
Oh,
no, you're just
whoa.
going along being your natural self. Guess
Whoa.
what? That was an act and it's dumb.
Whoa. None of that was said.
No, that's what happened.
You're just being your natural shitty self who's putting that was not presented.
Remember when you talked about being a kid and you were acting the way that you acted naturally and then someone called that weird and you're like, "Oh, is that like oh." So that's what just happened to me. I'm doing something that I think is kind of funny and maybe whatever and you're like, "Oh, you tired of that act?"
Fair, but that's not none of those things I said. If you're actually listening to it, I just explained to you.
Rewind the tape.
If you listen, it took a little bit to get there, and I could have phrased it differently. I don't deny that. I'm not saying that didn't happen, but these things, you really filled in some gaps there.
Well,
like,
and also
you said I was a fucking stupid piece of shit who was
I've also
ugly
been
and
burned.
smelled bad.
I've been burned by you before, criticizing me before the show started.
And has a dumb pinky finger. What? That's not, no. No.
I saw you looking at that pinky finger.
That's not what I said at all. I would put in some work if it was nothing but reality TV show talk. That way I could, really.
That's the thing. It's not nothing but reality TV show talk.
That way I could. I'm just thinking if it were reversed, I would be interested in the person who didn't know, and they come to me and like, what do you think? Because they're trying to set me up as being the person who didn't know. I would do some research. That way I could fire that bullet of knowledge into their fucking skulls and cause their heads to blow up. Like, whoa. It's like, yeah, suck on that one.
I don't have that hang up.
Also, as thinking about the show and as an entertainment standard that's been set, I feel as though that would be a good thing for the audience to hear.
Okay.
They would love it. They would fucking stop their cars and stand up and applaud. Maybe woo. That's what would happen across the city.
I don't have anything to prove. I just think I try and react in a funny way.
Across Metro Atlanta, cars will be slamming into each other. What up? With the sports knowledge. But I also understand that it serves a role. You serve as, some people are bored by the sports talk. So I'm
bored by the sports talk.
So you're the voice of those people also.
Yeah. But I also don't, whatever, you're going to stop recording. It's fine.
What do you mean? I'm not going to stop
because a lot of times when I have something else to say, I'll start saying like, I stopped recording.
Yeah, because I like to end on like a staccato note going into the theme of the show. But go ahead, and what are we going to say?
I don't know.
Come on, what are we going to say?
I don't remember.
Say it.
I don't remember.
We'll just start to say something so I can at least do my joke.
I don't know what to say.
What did you eat for dinner tonight?
I made pasta.
I stopped recording.
Fuck you, Greg. Welcome to One Topic, where we stick to one topic. My name is Autumn Fisher.
My name is Greg Russ. Tonight's topic is, I'm just going to present it, calories, which came from a random word generator, which seems to be the new way we are going to present this show.
Do you think we should ever take suggestions from people?
If you want to wrangle the suggestions, I would be happy to do that. But as we move forward, and as we hit upon last week, sometimes it's harder to come up with a topic as we approach 150. So we used the random word generator, and I generated 25 words. And one of those words that popped up was calories, or maybe it was just calorie, which you expressed an interest in speaking about. Over words such as ladder, whole show on ladders, captain, share, colony, transmission, rainbow, white. Yeah, we should have done white.
Wow.
White. Bathtub, fisherman. So
Gordon's fisherman.
So this is the way, at least for the time being, I feel like the show is pivoting. Unless there's something obviously on top of mind, the topic will be generated by a random word generator or possibly a suggestion. What's our email address?
One topic 02?
I think it's 01.
01? Okay, good. Zero
Okay.
one at Gmail.
I don't.
I mean, I do check it.
I'll look that up quickly. One
I've
topic.
got it right here.
Oh,
It's one topic 01 at gmail.com.
okay. Don't. Who knows what 02 is? That's the rip off One Topic show.
We should just get that one too.
It may already be taken. There is a rip off One Topic show. At least there was.
Is it called One Topic? It's not called One Topic.
There was
is it?
something called One Topic. And then I think that there's other shows that it came about who had the idea of doing One Topic. And though we don't have this copyrighted, they see that we're on iTunes and we've been going strong for several years, and they shy away because then it's like two cool dudes in one topic. That's a real one. Maybe not two cool dudes.
Like Two Girls, One Cup.
Well, that's what it made me think of, and they obviously did not think about that.
Oh, I thought maybe they would have. I thought that they would, and there was like a little jokey joke.
Maybe it was. I just figure
Hilarious.
I would not name my show that.
No, I wouldn't either.
Because
I mean, if they're all like sexy topics or like internet meme topics, then that would be really clever.
Yeah, I guess. Could you imagine talking about internet memes? Guys, there's already podcasts about that, right?
God.
Those have to exist. Memes.
How long could those be?
Memes, memes.
Memes.
He's an idiot and doesn't know how to pronounce it. No, I do know how to pronounce it. I pronounce it incorrectly on purpose. Look, here's a one topic with the number one. Number one topic.
Oh.
Can you see
Number
this?
one.
Does this
Yeah, I see that.
One topic, off topic podcast. I'm just giving other people shout outs now, and that they don't even deserve these things.
Off topic. When was the last time they posted?
Off
Is
topic?
it current? Yeah.
Off topic today.
What was the one before that?
September 26th, then September 19th, and September 12th.
Wow, they're consistent.
No, they've been around longer than us. They've done 306 episodes.
Wow.
So we can't say, but
have they? You think they ever missed a week? Probably.
This one topic with a one last post was November 5th, 2019.
Oof.
They died.
They died.
They're in the boneyard of podcasts.
Yep.
So anyway,
Bye-bye.
Calories is what you wanted to talk about because it's fitting.
Well,
It's prevalent in your life currently.
And I figure too that it might not be a show that's just about calories, but about, I don't know, our health overall and like what calories really mean.
What does calories really mean?
I mean, calories a lot of times are sort of rebranded as energy. You know?
Yes.
Have you seen that? Like where people are like, it's actually, I think in Europe, right? They call it energy, not calories on the back.
I mean, it is energy. A calorie is the scientific term for
unit of energy.
Kilocalorie, which represents the amount of energy required to raise the temperature of a liter of water 1 degree centigrade at sea level. So the calorie itself is the energy in the food. When food's broken down, that energy is released and used by your body. And if your body doesn't need it, then it somehow repackages it into fat and stores it.
Yeah, how does it do that?
It's what an amazing thing.
And what is energy?
That's the best I could come up.
Do you know what I mean? What is energy? Is it your blood pumps or what is it?
Energy.
I never thought about that before. That like a calorie will go into your body. I don't even know what that means, a calorie. Do you know what I mean? What is it? Is it a molecule?
It's
Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. And I know the point that you're trying to make is we don't know, but I feel as though we should know.
Right. We just talk about it. Like it's just this thing we all know. Oh, it converts it into energy. What's that mean?
Metabolism ties closely to this. Metabolism is the process by which your body converts what you eat and drink into energy during this complex process. It's very complex. That's why we can't explain it. Calories in food and beverages are combined with oxygen to release the energy your body needs to function. So that's what you're asking. What is the energy? Why don't you tell me what the energy is?
Right. And I guess, too, it says that, like, a calorie is the energy needed to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water.
Yeah, I said that. 1 liter of water, 1
1
degree.
liter of water. Oh, okay. What is that? I still don't get it. Anyway,
I'm just saying, so like heat, for example,
yeah.
the form of energy. See, I don't know how to explain it any further than that.
Either.
I sound like an idiot. But if your calories, 1 calorie was heat on a stove, 1 calorie would have the stove run the amount of time it took water's temperature, a liter of it, to rise 1 degree centigrade, which nobody uses anymore. It's the same as
But
Celsius.
don't you,
It's a better
when you
term
think
for
of
Celsius, but no one says it.
when you think of calories, don't you think about it as an actual physical thing and not necessarily like a measurement of something?
Yeah, it's the way it's presented to us so that we can better understand it. Like grams of
Right.
fat, that you think, oh, calories is similar to grams of fat, but it's just the total amount of energy. And, you know, is it all the same across the board? I think there's quality of calories and quantity of calories. And it's not. People say, you can lose weight and eat nothing but cookies, as long as you
Yeah.
don't eat more than you burn in a day. And that's true. But
I feel like that's just true on paper. I don't know if it's true in reality.
you
is
would
it?
lose the weight, but you're not
Yeah.
going to be in good physical shape, and you're not going to have, much energy, I would say, to do the things that you need to do.
Right. And that's kind of telling about the whole system of the sort of like I think when I texted you I said it was like the weaponizing of calories. It's like we talk about calories in the realm of trying to lose weight as a way to only lose weight. Like this is, yeah, you can just go ahead if you love cookies and you don't want to do, things that are healthy for you. You can just eat cookies all day, however many calories it takes, that you'll be in a calorie deficit. Because the point is that we only care about you losing weight. Do you know what I mean? Like the only goal is weight loss as opposed to overall health. Weight doesn't really make that much. I mean, sometimes it does, right? Like if you're very unhealthy and your body weighs so much that it's like limiting you and it's causing problems, that's different. But you can be less healthy and be skinny and be more healthy and weigh more.
Yes. I don't calories to as a unit of measurement to begin with. I don't think it was so nefarious. That's the result of marketing and packaging what calories is and selling it to other people. It's the easiest way to gauge if you're trying to lose weight. I assume that it came about at least in a public consciousness type of way because there was an excess of food, a surplus of food. People had access and were eating all kinds of junk, highly processed food. And, the labels that are on packaging now, even when we were kids, that wasn't the law. It didn't need to be there.
It didn't?
No.
Okay.
And then it became standardized. So that's why it all looks the same on all the packages, where you can actually look at nutrition facts and see what is going in or to your body when you eat types of food. And that, I assume, was born out of people not tracking such a thing and the epidemic of unhealthy. Like it's not just tied to weight, because, as you said, you can be very unhealthy and not be overweight. But I think that's where that came from because, the whole thing. Remember when we were kids, fat was bad for you.
Yeah, there was that big movement, like Snackwell cookies. What a fun name too, Snackwell. Snackwell. And then those anal leakage chips.
Yeah, the Alestra.
Alestra.
What is that? What that fake fat was called?
Yeah, I think so. I forget what the products were called though. The chips.
I feel like they were called Wow.
Yeah, they were. They were definitely called Wow.
Wow chips.
Wow chips.
But, so much, even when we have access to this information, so much of it is manipulated. So the whole thing with fat, I remember fat to me was the scariest thing you could eat just because the way it was presented. And I think it leaked into health classes. My mom surely bought into this shit and would look at fat. And as we know, too much fat isn't a good thing. And there are different types of fat, saturated, unsaturated, polysaturated, all this. But it came to light after all these years that the sugar industry pushed that narrative on fat being bad.
That should be illegal.
Because sugar doesn't really have fat. There's no fat. So I remember as a kid thinking fat was bad. I'd look at a pack of Willy Wonka everlasting gobstoppers and I'd see 0 fat. And the sugar didn't fucking matter. I was like, great, this is amazing. This is not, how is this going to be bad for me? There's
zero fat.
There's 0 fat in it. So going back and tying this into what you were saying, we have this information laid out in front of us. It's up to us to understand what it means, but most people don't spend the time to really do that. So something like calories is easily hijacked and presented as you're fat. Here's how you lose weight. Count your calories. And
count your calories. Don't worry about your whatever your metabolic rate is, right? Like whatever your metabolism is doing, whatever diets you've been on, whatever hormones you might be cycling.
See, but that's
through.
so much to track. You're right. You're absolutely right. But I can't gauge at what rate my body is burning calories.
You can't, but you can.
I could
there
keep
are
a log.
professionals that can help you.
I could keep a log and eat the exact same number of calories every day and track my weight, for example, to see if that was over what I'm burning. But who's really going to do that except for psychos who only eat chicken every single day? Chicken breast. Yeah. What are you having for breakfast? Chicken breast. What are you having for lunch?
Like
chicken
weightlifters?
Breast. Yeah, dinner chicken breast. I got to keep this
The Rock?
physique.
Doesn't The Rock have like weird, crazy dinners?
I mean,
constant meals.
Keeping your body in some kind of shape where it's chiseled, and if you're not using steroids, it's very difficult. It's not a resting state by any means. Like even if you achieve it, you can't just then back off. And Tom Brady, that dude, I don't even know the last time he ate solid food. I think everything he has is a mixed shake. And it's
really?
probably yes, but is it serving some sort of purpose? I think he's about to be 45 years old and still, playing high level NFL football. Mm-hmm. Despite our talk at the top of the show about you not caring about sports, you at least know that at 45-year-old, at that point, shouldn't be performing at a peak level, and it's pretty insane. But is it enjoyable? I guess for him, the most important thing is that he continues to be the best quarterback in the league. But I don't know if it's any way to live. But then again, I'm a person who doesn't give a shit about food. And if somebody just gave me shakes every single day, someone else handled it, I would just drink them and probably be happy. I'm like, okay, this is fine.
I mean, yeah, athletes like that are machines.
Some of them. They should.
Some of them. The ones that are really, really strict like that definitely are. And like the same with people who aren't considered like athletes, but like bodybuilders, they're doing well. I really do think a lot of that bodybuilding stuff is eating disorder stuff. It's like the way that men have eating disorders as opposed to women. It's just the way that it's the way that they funnel it through masculinity. Like, I'm working on my body. My body looks like this. It's just the way it looks. Whereas women are like, I'm so small and tiny.
Yeah, I think that argument, yes, you can make that because it's still believed that the ideal dude body is top heavy. I mean, your legs are important. If you're just top, you'll get made fun of if you have chicken legs and you got the big upper body. But just by nature, if you become very muscular, you're going to be top heavy.
Well, and just like women don't, they're not anorexic or bulimic, or they don't have an eating disorder because they want to be attracted to men. The men don't bodybuild because they want to be attracted to women. Attractive to women.
Well, I think they do. I think it's competition amongst other men and trying to show
That's
something.
That's what I'm saying. They're
think
bulking up for themselves or for the other dudes.
I think that they think that women like that, and some do. You don't like the idea of some guy being able to shove you up against all of his index finger?
What I mean, the person that looks like that.
I pick
to
you
me
up
is
like
not,
you're nothing, ragdoll, throw you round.
No, I like that idea.
And then you're
but
smothered by the giant body as he mounts.
Yeah. And his like shriveled up balls and dick because of
that's only steroids.
Oh, okay. You want to see what The Rock eats in a day?
Are you going to show me?
I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
For breakfast, he has 10 ounces of cod, 2 whole eggs, and 2 cups of oatmeal. That's a lot of food.
Well, he works long hours, and he works out constantly still.
Yeah, he does. And then second meal, mid-morning, is another cod, 12 ounces of sweet potato, a cup of vegetables, and that's it. Meal 3, which is lunch, chicken, 2 cups of white rice, and a cup of vegetables. Afternoon, he has more cod, 2 cups of white rice, 1 cup of vegetables with some fish oil. And then meal 5, steak, baked potatoes, spinach salad. And then 6, more cod, 2 cups of rice and a salad. Meal 7, 10 egg white omelet, 1 cup of vegetable, fish oil, some protein supplement.
Does it tell you the number of calories tied to that? That's a shitload.
God, so many.
It doesn't tell you?
No, it didn't.
It's way too much. I mean, I guess it works for him because he's active enough and he's burning.
Right.
Oh my God.
Well, his muscles, right? Like the reason why when you start working out more, it's difficult to gauge what your deficit should be because you are building muscle and the muscle does require more energy to burn it. He eats more than 5,000 calories a day.
Yeah, just the amount of time spent eating. It's got to be.
It's a lot.
2.5 hours. Yeah, it's too much work. There was one time in my life. Also, I wonder what kind of steak is he eating? I don't
know.
Not the herb roasted prime rib from Outback Steakhouse.
Oh yeah, with like the scoop of butter on the top of it.
That whole thing. If you get the baked potato and the blue cheese wedge, and a half a loaf of bread with butter, it's 2,400 calories. That's a lot.
So that's the thing. Like so that one meal that you're mentioning, right? That's 2,500. He eats 5,000. So that's half of his thing. He spreads that out over 7 meals. So he has like low calorie, high protein.
It's still a lot of food, even if it's low calorie.
It's a lot of food.
You should just eat celery. It's negative calories.
Oh, that's some bullshit. And so is mushrooms, I think.
Mushrooms?
Like it takes more energy to burn
I've never heard this about mushrooms.
I'm sorry, than to digest them than it does to consume them or something.
I've only heard that about celery, which made sense in theory because it was so stringy. It's a harsh type of vegetable. It's like, yeah,
fibrous.
I can see that, but it's not true. It's not real.
Yeah.
Negative.
Remember that was such a diet thing to do. And it's interesting. Like I was thinking about diets. Like when I think about diet, sort of my go-to thing is like a woman eating half a grapefruit, and those weird ways that people used to eat grapefruit with the little spoon and they'd put like a little sugar on the top and eat it that way.
What if she was eating, oh yeah, grapefruit, which I was thinking of cantaloupe and honeydew.
Oh, that too. But I just remember seeing that as a kid as like sort of a trope of someone who is trying to, lose weight. And I never knew what that thing was. It's like, what are they eating? What is that? What are they scooping? What is that thing? I don't think I'd ever seen a grapefruit or even knew what a grapefruit was for a really long time.
I'm not really into grapefruit.
Oh, I like grapefruit. I like grapefruit flavored things.
What's grapefruit flavored? I guess when it comes to seltzer, the pink grapefruit is the only thing I'll consume. Actual grapefruit juice itself.
It's really sour.
And there's pink and there's white.
It's a good mixer.
Yeah. I guess if you're making some boozy drinks.
Yeah, it's delicious in boozy drinks because it like is still sweet and it's sour like a lot of mixers are.
The mixologist will tell you the science behind the drink and the precise measurements that went in so you can tantalize and titilize the taste buds and all the ways God intended. So you've got a little bit of the sour and then a bit of the sweet.
This cocktail is very sweet by nature. So what we have done is we've taken a rosemary infused olive oil and just dumped it in there. That's what all those bubbles are.
Yeah, we laugh. I mean, look,
the fat cancels out the sugar.
Anyone who puts time into learning something. I don't care if someone's a mixologist and actually put in the time to try to balance flavors and experiment. That's fine. And there's a skill involved and there's knowledge that you have to have. But it's always the way they were presented. It's a bit pretentious. Instead of just being a dude, he's like, yeah, I know this shit. How cool would it be if there's some guy who just nonchalantly is like, yeah, I know all that shit, I'll tell you, and he just fucking
Yeah.
made you something instead of having the manicured hair and the tuxedo from the 1920s. Come on.
Well, yeah, it's more it's taken more as like their personality instead of just a thing about them.
Yeah, and I think it's what, for me, turned me off because it was too
Yeah.
much of a show. Even if,
Right.
actually, if it were just a show, I'd be happy to buy into it. It's like I'm an actor. I'm playing that
Right.
role.
Exactly.
Fine, but it's someone who carried themselves that way. I think I can imagine them outside of work, really sculpting their mustache before they came in to make sure not a hair was out of place, because I have to look like a man.
You know,
Who
that's
knows?
interesting. You know, I wonder because what I was thinking was that like that person must not have a lot going on in their lives because they're really hanging, their super hip bowler hat on the fact that they're a mixologist. And so then they have to dress like a mixologist, and their off time when they're not mixologing, they still pretend like they're, like they're still a mixologist because that's all they have. And I think that happens a lot with like other people too, in just less obvious ways and in more socially accepted, like more normie ways, where like it just made me think of the families that just turn into like, I'm just this person's dad, I'm just this person's mom, I'm just this is all I am.
Well, I wonder if there was an overcompensation because bartending wasn't viewed as the most
As something that could be prestigious.
Yeah, I think
or
it's
like
it's the right
knowledgeable
word.
or something.
That's the right word. It's not the most prestigious job.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, I'm not a bartender. I'm a mix of this. So it's the difference of, oh, you didn't go to college, or you went to community college, or wow, you got a degree and you got a master's degree. So yes, I did get my master's degree. Like that's the way the distinction seems to me, where they needed to separate themselves. Which bartending, you do have to have knowledge, and I know that there are bad bartenders, and you ask them to make simple drinks, and they don't know how to do them. And you would hope that someone tending bar can make any drink that someone throws their way, as long as it's a relatively popular one. And on a busy fucking night, to be able to handle not just making drinks, but people and their expectations, I don't look down on that job at all. But I feel as though
I don't know anybody that would look down on a bartender.
No, I feel but it doesn't. I think this is somewhat of an overcompensation. I just don't mistake me for a normal bartender. I've put in the work. I'd much prefer a dude who had a white T-shirt and a pack of cigarettes rolled up in the sleeve. Who could?
I make my own bitters.
Yeah, in my bathtub.
That's kind of funny because I'm trying to make my own bitters right now.
Oh, you want a smoked cocktail? Sure. And he uses the smoke from his cigarette.
Ew, no, they don't.
From his Pall Mall.
Cigarette. That's like that's like the bowling alley mixologist.
I think it'd be cool. I have my Parliament.
Gross.
Sure. Here's your smoked beverage.
It's minty. I can taste the mint.
Nah, think about this man, and he's in good shape. He's got nice bone structure. He's got slicked back hair, and he's just nonchalant and cool. Like, yeah. Wearing jeans, like the Bruce Springsteen Born in the USA album cover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. James Dean. This is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of James Dean making fancy cocktails.
Speaking of James Dean and I guess Bruce Springsteen, they were all very fit people. And
I was
thinking that there was a lot when you look at for example,
James Dean,
Chubby
by the way, hold on, he had to be fit because he didn't have long enough time to live. I don't know if he'd still be fit today. Maybe he'd just be a fat slob.
Well, there are a lot of people that are young and fat.
James Dean. I would say you were James Dean. Now you're just an old whale. Anyway, so Chubby Checker, I think you were going to say.
Chubby Checker. If you look at Chubby Checker and you look him up, when he was at the height of his, hold on a second. Hi, babe. No, sweetheart, you cannot.
But my iPad has 5%.
Oh, you know what you can do instead? You need to take a shower.
I'm going to eat this.
What are you gonna eat?
I'm gonna eat this.
How many calories are in that?
How many calories?
Yogurt
Are in it?
that Ellie has
Right.
brought in.
One serving.
Oh, that's Twix yogurt. That's yogurt with
Yeah.
Twix in it. That's might as well just buy her candy
Well, it only has 180 calories.
without the Twix.
Ooh. 24 grams of sugar.
Give it to her.
Really bad.
Tell
Yeah.
Ellie she needs to spend 20 minutes eating
You can
it.
have it. But listen, you need to jump in the shower, okay?
Can I just be on the YouTube until I finish this on the
No,
TV?
you cannot.
Why?
Because I've told you no.
Fine.
Hey, you get in the shower too, okay?
First, let me eat myself.
You can eat it in the shower.
Okay.
Shower yogurt.
Can
I
you
know.
just help me with this?
Yeah. Come on, baby.
Hi.
Hello.
I took the headphones.
I know you've got the headphones now. Now you can hear me, and your mom can't hear.
When was the last time you saw Greg?
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
She has no teeth left at this
Her
point.
teeth are all missing.
Yeah, there's a lot missing. So all she can eat is Twix yogurt.
She only has 3 on
Each
each side of the top. That's it.
Yeah, it said this yogurt is all you can eat, Ellie. With the candy. Twix. Mixing in Twix. All right, enjoy it.
Goodbye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Hey, you take a shower, okay? Don't forget to take your towel down before you get in.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, babe.
I hope I won't forget.
You're wonderful. Love you.
Let's go.
Okay. Sorry.
Couldn't just
Chubby
let-
checker?
Couldn't just let her watch the YouTube to finish out the show.
No, because she needs to take a shower. She's gross.
When's the last time she showered?
I don't know because I got her Friday.
How many calories
probably
does,
Thursday.
does showering burn?
Ooh. Depends on how hot the shower is.
Apparently twerking burns 5 calories a minute.
Yeah. Wow.
If you want to do a twerk out. Do you know that was a
seems
thing?
like a lot.
I hate that it's a thing. Yeah, it seems way too much.
Yeah.
A twerk
What?
out.
The little thing that you can take, the shell part of it, that you can take off its fell.
That's okay. It's
Why
gonna
can't-
come. It's not gonna come out of there.
But I just don't want it to be there. Then I get less space.
I'm sorry. I can't help you right now. Goodbye.
Can you just,
I can't. I love you. Go. The longer we talk, the longer I take to do the show. Bye.
So yes, you had thoughts on chubby,
Okay.
chubby
Checker. Yeah, his name's Chubby Checker, and if you go look at him, he looks like an absolutely normal dude. But I think back then there weren't a lot of chubby people. Like it was way less amount of people that were.
Yeah, because we
sort
didn't
of-
have as access to so much shit.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But isn't that strange? Like, shouldn't we the sort of more progressive we get?
We shouldn't have Twix yogurts. We should have
Yeah,
straight up
probably.
yogurt.
Yeah. It just seems like it's interesting that the sort of what we might deem as more intelligent, more knowledgeable about the universe or the world or how our bodies work, what science is, blah blah blah. Like it seems like we would not let something like our food, which is sometimes like the first medicine, do you know what I mean, to help your body heal or recover or
Well, as far
progress
as
into something more healthy, that we have let that slide to such an extent that like your bread lasts 8 weeks on your shelf, or like you give your kid a Pop-Tart, which I'm not judging, I just gave her a Twix yogurt, but there's so much stuff to keep things quote fresh, which really just means from not deteriorating, that I don't know what any of that stuff is. And then the only thing that we care about is calories.
well, the preservatives and additives, there are people who do look into that and like this is not good for you. I mean, there's been plenty of additives and preservatives over the years that have now been made illegal. I mean, there's research being done, but as you said, some people are responsible. Most people aren't putting in the time because we're busy, and thinking about food, is a time warp. Is that what I'm looking for? Suck. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Time
Time
suck. That's why I was stalling. I was like, it's not warp. It's not a
It
warp
is. You're
zone.
right. Because
For-
the only reason why I'm, the only reason why I'm doing a lot of that is because I do have the time to do it. Like the latest I work in a week is 1 p.m. And so I have a lot of time to, you know, go grocery shopping, get supplies that I need, the time to
Convenience.
make the stuff
Convenience.
that,
People sacrifice all this shit for convenience. And also, making wise choices when everything's loaded with sugar. Sugar is addictive. It is. I'm totally addicted to it. I know that it's bad. I went to a movie the other day and I stopped at the drugstore to buy some candy to sneak in. And I decided this was the strongest thing I've ever done in my life. I walked out without buying any candy. But
wow.
it still was a process. I went in, I had candy in my hand, a bigger bag of candy from the aisle. And then I said, no, put that back. Go get a small bag of Skittles from the front. And I was up front and I had the bag of Skittles in my hand. And I said, nope, just put that back. And then I left. But
Wow, good for you.
But then later in the day, I came home and there was candy here. I bought bags of Halloween candy, Reese's peanut butter cups and orange Kit Kats and Skittles, and then I laid them out on the table in a uniformed fashion, so it was very
Like a
neat
serial
and orderly. And then I put half of the peanut butter cups in the freezer and laid them out in there. And I realize it is very difficult to not eat it. And especially as a person who's not eating properly as it is, or eating as often enough as they should be, since I only eat once a day. And this is probably why I haven't gained weight. I don't think I'm meeting the allocation of calories that my body needs to put on weight. So,
despite eating somewhat junky food.
well, yeah, during the day, I think that the sugar is also extra appealing because it's just a quick boost. I'm probably like, oh, I haven't eaten and I don't want to eat. Like, I'm at the point where I eat a meal and I'm fucking tired immediately after because my body's not used to getting food in it.
That's not okay.
No, and it's been going on for quite a while now. Like, at first it was a thing. I was like, look, if I want to eat late, fine. I can eat late, but I should also eat some during the day. And
I know. I don't know how you do that. I'm sorry. I don't know how you don't do that. I don't know how you don't eat.
well, just as the mixologist overcompensated, I overcompensated because I can't stand people like, I'm hangry. I get hangry. It's like, shut the fuck up. You eat more than any person in the history of humanity. You have access to such food and you miss a meal by 5 minutes. I'm getting in a bad mood. So you can go days without eating. So get out of here with that shit. And that's why this anger that comes out of the people who act as though they have a right to treat other people like dirt because they haven't eaten. I don't buy into it. So
Are you sure that that's not?
I'm the king of intermittent fasting. I invented it. I did it before it was a thing without thinking about it.
Are you sure that that's your motivation and it's not like, I'm not an animal. I control if I want to eat or not.
Probably part of it too. I also, counting calories. I was going to ask if you're counting them working out. We'll get to that in a second because I'm going to talk about myself a little more. The only time I did count calories was when I was in high school and wrestling, and my natural weight at that point was like 160. 163, and I had to get down to 152 so I could wrestle in that weight class.
Impossible.
And no, I did it, but
I know, but it's just to think about a man. I guess you're not a man, you're just a boy.
I mean, you're burning a lot of calories as it is at that age, but that means you need more calories. And I was actually counting and doing that stupid thing, like eating rice cakes. You see, like, there's nothing in here. And it's you're talking about an eating disorder. I guess wrestling in itself presents an eating disorder for a reason. It's like, I have to be 152. I can't be more. If I weigh in more than that, then I'm not allowed to wrestle in that match.
Right.
And when that was done, I was like, never again am I going to do that shit. And I haven't. I'll look at it sometimes. I don't want to go overboard. So there's not a log of any sort, but if there's several days in a row where I feel like I'm eating a lot, I'll take somewhat of a note. It does deter me, restaurants. I don't know if it's like that. And here in New York, they started putting calorie counts on menus.
I think most places have that because I know that it was a newer law for McDonald's to do it, or like fast food places.
That does have an impact on me. I will look. I'm like, no. Or like even at McDonald's, something like a double cheeseburger. They have a McDouble and a double cheeseburger. You know what the difference is?
The cheese?
Yeah, the McDouble has 1 slice of cheese. The double cheeseburger has 2 slices of cheese. Everything else is the same, but it saves you like 80 calories. Like, what the fuck do I need 2 pieces of cheese for?
You don't.
Having that knowledge, I know I'm still eating McDonald's, but it's like blotting your pizza. You're eating pizza. Do you, taking the fucking grease off the top. Doesn't matter. I see both sides of it. It's kind of ridiculous because you have to admit that you are eating pizza. But if you're taking some grease off and it saves 100 calories, then great.
No, I feel the same way. When I started counting my calories, it wasn't so that it was just to see like what am I consuming in a day? And I realized that if I used that like spray oil,
spray butter.
Well, not spray butter.
I
But I
like
remember
spray
that
butter.
too. That
0
stuff
calories.
actually does have calories, but it's less than 1 calorie, and so they can say that it has 0 calories.
And you're talking about preservatives and additives and
Oh
chemicals.
my god, what is that? What is spray butter?
How can it have 0 calories or less than 1 calorie?
Right.
It is pretty
So
ridiculous.
I realized because I make eggs every morning, and I was putting like a pat of butter, which is like half a tablespoon, which is probably like 40 calories for just that little bit. And if I use that spray oil instead, then it was nothing. So that took a significant amount. If I got one of those, I got these like spicy hummus wraps that are so good, and they're a less amount, they're more substance, and they're less calories than if I put it on bread. And if I wanted to have it on bread, guess what? I'm going to have it on bread. It was more about like just knowing the players in my life. Do you know what I mean? Like knowing what I'm dealing with so that I can make choices. And like you said, when you deprived yourself of your candy at the movie theater, but then you still went home and like pigged out on candy, you may as well have just had the Skittles at the theater, because then maybe you wouldn't have gone more crazy with the candy at home.
I still would have gone just as crazy because it was here. So in the long run, it was still better to have less sugar. But God knows.
That's true. If that's the case, then that's different. But I feel like a lot of people do a lot of depriving, and it's almost like saying, well, I was an addict, and I know hanging out with my friends that are still doing drugs is going to be bad for me, but I'm strong now, and it'll be a good test. Like I think I can do it, and then you relapse because you can't do it. It's the same thing. You can't restrict yourself so hard and think that you're so above being a human being. You can't do that. You have to give yourself things. You have to do it.
You need to be realistic. People like playing mind games, though, and that's something I do also with sugar, which is my downfall. But I don't drink soda. I drink seltzer, as you know. And every once in a while, if I'm craving a sugary tasting soda, I will get one of the Coke Zeros, or that Dr. Pepper Zero actually tastes very good. And I know that calorie-free artificial sweeteners have their downfalls, but I'm not consuming them enough, so I don't care.
Right, yeah.
I don't care. But yeah, there's this weird distinction. I'll eat fucking slice of pie and Twizzlers, but I don't drink sugary soda, and I don't put sugar in my coffee. As if,
right.
Okay, great. And they want to tie it to drugs. It's like people who use
I won't
pills.
inject heroin, but I snort it.
Yeah, or it's like, I've never done heroin. Now give me my pills. It's like, okay,
right.
look, but it makes people
Let
feel
me chew
better.
on that OxyContin like patch that I stole from someone's house. I'm gonna chew on it.
Is that a thing? I guess that's a thing.
Yes, absolutely is a thing. I knew a kid that did it.
Who chewed on patches?
Mm-hmm. Because it went into his system more quickly. He died though.
Oh, well, that's a shame.
Yeah.
I mean, the moment you're chewing on patches, I think that it's a
Desperate.
sign.
Weird.
Yeah, it's a sign that things aren't so great. But people are good at fooling themselves in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
But to tie it back to our conversation, you play games with yourself too. Something like blotting the pizza. I think if you're counting, if you're not eating in excess, then just eat the fucking grease. But if you are eating terribly and maybe too much, then I guess blot it and save a few calories.
I think that, if you feel like you want to blot that pizza,
sure,
you blot it.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
Just do whatever you want. But I don't think that it's I think that some of the talk about diet culture has kind of swung a little too far the other way into saying that like your body is beautiful at every size, which means that if you are extremely overweight, you can still be beautiful, but then people turn that into like, well, then I can just stay this way. And it's like, yeah, you can.
There are health implications. There are health
Yeah,
implications
exactly. Yeah.
to being very skinny, as you've already stated. So that's,
Right.
that being the ideal image is not great either. But yeah, it's easy to lean into, I'm beautiful any size. Okay, but we're not talking about physical appearance. We're talking about your health. But your health
Isn't
is
it
yours.
funny that
It's
that's
yours.
so tied together?
I mean, I don't know why that stumped me, but
I think it's
It's-
interesting that those two things are very tied together. If you're thin, then you're on the road to beautiful, and if you're bigger, then it's like you can never be beautiful.
that's just something inherently built in. I don't know why. There's, for most people, something that's thin and sleek is more attractive to them. People like
Maybe
symmetry.
because of the health reasons. Like if you're looking for a mate.
It could be, but I think that applies to other things. Think about
Yeah.
cars. People like sports cars that are sleek and thin and rounded, and comparing that to a Nastro van. That's a big...
Right, things don't look like cars aren't being built to look like a rhinoceros.
I mean, they are these days if you look at what most people drive. But as far as beauty goes, I say that because Ford's not building cars anymore in the United States. They're not selling cars outside of the Mustang. It's trucks and SUVs only. That's where we are. And I've seen plenty of trucks that do look like a rhinoceros. They're so fucking giant.
But if you think about it, that's not, no one's saying like, wow, what a beautiful truck.
No, it's like, wow, what a powerful truck. But it's a manly thing. It's like, wow,
Right.
it's good
So
manly
if you're built like a
characteristics.
rhino, no one is going to be like, she's sexy.
But even when we're talking about dudes earlier,
Sure.
there's strength, but you don't want a fat guy. But you don't want a skinny guy because you lose the strength and you can't protect. So that's why dudes think muscles is the way to go, because you can be lean, you're sleek, but you're also powerful.
I think we're talking a lot about socialization of bodies and what they mean. And what it really could be tied to the most is our primitive brain assessing quickly whether that person is worthy of either your sperm or my life as getting pregnant by that sperm. Do you know what I mean? Because, for women, it's like life or death thing back, if we're just looking at our,
I mean, there's a lot
intuition.
there's a lot of theories that state that, and I can't dismiss them. I don't know if it's that powerful of a thing, though. It's just something that
I think it's happening in the background without us even knowing it.
Well, again, there's percentages, and I don't know why we're talking about the weight now, but
Because people are, thinking about counting their calories and feeling like being skinny or being thin is the only way.
well,
and
you're battling
having a calorie deficit.
You're battling with this now. I was going to say just quickly, we can get into that, but there are some people who are attracted to larger people, like that is what they find to be attractive. It just seems to be that inherently, by nature, most people are drawn to skinnier and sleeker, especially when we're talking about dudes and women. I don't know what the hell women look for. What do women look for? What do they like?
It's less about the physical, I mean, if the physical can be. Do you hear that?
Yeah, you're being called. You're being summoned.
Yes. Yes. What?
I don't know how you don't weigh nothing.
Why?
Talking about burning calories, having kids.
Yeah, you would think. And I really don't eat
You
insanely.
offset it. Yeah, they're asleep, and you're like, oh, got my cake.
I know. I really used to be more like that, and I weighed 15 pounds less.
Well, what's
I don't
going
know
on?
what's happening. I don't know. What I was doing for a while, okay, I did that diet, whatever. That didn't count. I did lose weight on that, but it was not real.
So are you counting calories in this now? Whatever you're doing, are you watching the count? Do you have a log?
Now I know what I typically eat in a day, and
Chicken
I haven't.
breast?
Yeah, chicken breast.
Chicken breast.
8 ounces of cod and a teaspoon of fish oil. No, I know what I'm eating I if I'm not sure, then I'll look at the calories, I'll look at the serving size. Some things I'll weigh, like I'll put, because I don't know how much an ounce of chips is, so I'll like put my plate on the scale and just see how much the ounce is.
This is why people don't track it. Who wants to dump their chips on a scale?
Well, I put my plate on the scale and then zero it out and then put chips on until it
I
makes
understand
an ounce.
you're doing it, but this is why most people don't track it. It's too much work.
Well, that's the thing. If you don't care, then you don't need to worry about that, But I am trying to chisel away a little bit of my weight, but I also don't want to do it in a very like diet way. I want to do it in a real way, which is like continue to eat the things that I eat. Try and be healthy. Like I don't, like you said, do I need those Skittles in the theater? Maybe I don't. You know what I mean?
So
Stuff like that.
delicious, though.
What's that?
They're so delicious, though.
Well, that's the thing. If like I do feel like I really want that, then maybe I would get them. Or maybe I'd think about it ahead of time and get like the fun size and just have like a handful.
That's not. I hated that name, fun size. There's nothing fun about it. Fun size is a pound of them.
Yeah, it's just like the Snackwell cookies. It's like, all right. But
are you excited about the lime coming back?
Yes.
And Skittles?
Yes. Did you hear on the show? Eric was like, no one has ever had a conversation about how lime should be there instead of apple. I was like, I beg to differ. I think Greg and I have had that conversation.
Yes, we have.
Pete.
Ellie needs his goggles.
Aren't they in the bathroom? Careful of that. Don't do that.
No.
Okay. Tell her she's going to have to wait, okay? She needs her goggles in the tub.
This is why we usually record when they're asleep, but
we tried to get it done early.
It's fine.
Yeah, no. What are you going to do?
I don't, no one likes staying up late and then recording and being tired.
Yeah.
Anyway, the lime Skittles, 8 years they were gone. I didn't know it was 8 years. Time flies.
Time flies. It felt like yesterday they were getting rid of it.
Why did they come back? I don't care either way.
I do. I loved the lime.
The lime's
think apple's
fine.
So dumb in there. Apple belongs in a different bag, like the tropical.
It's not a tropical fruit.
It isn't, but I don't know where it goes.
Apples are grown in New York. You go apple picking here. It's the least tropical.
I know it's not. I don't mean it to be an actual tropical bag. I mean it to be in like some other version of Skittles, some offshoot of the off of the red bag. Apple should not be there. It has lemon and there should be lime.
Okay,
so that you can make the Sprite in your mouth, which I did as a kid.
Okay, so that's fair. I'm not really invested in it. And I've grown to like the lime more. And the apple never did it for me anyway. But you were saying you just want to find a way to exist that's not some intruding outside program that is causing you to alter the way you conduct your life. And you just
for example, I have Sunday dinners with my parents now. So tonight I made pasta and I've been making my pasta at home, which has been so rewarding and I love it so much. It's so much better and it's not that big a deal because I don't know what the dried pasta is made of. I feel like I have the time to do it. I want to do it. I enjoy doing it. So I'm doing it. I feel less guilty about eating pasta like that because I know exactly what's in it and that it's not pre-made and that I don't want to go on a diet where it says like, oh, I can't have any pasta. I can't participate in this moment with my family. What I can do is scoop up less of the pasta or something if I wanted and make sure I have a salad with it to fill me up with other things besides pasta.
Let's say you only...
So it's that kind of thing. It's like conscious. And I also am moving more. I'm trying to like enjoy my body moving, which I really am. I'm having a nice time like exercising. I like it a lot.
Something with pasta feels like you can overeat it, but it also will fill you up pretty quickly. So there's a limit.
Well, do you remember when we were kids again with the like grapefruit and the if someone just walking around eating celery because they're on a diet? It used to be like you can have like, oh, I'm on a diet, so I'm having pasta for dinner, just like noodles.
Yeah, because there's no fat tied to it. And carbohydrates aren't as bad. That's another thing, though. Carbohydrates, sure, if you eat too many, but it's the same thing, excess of anything, most things. Broccoli, if you eat too much broccoli, is it bad for you? I'm sure in some way it is, but probably it's harder for it to be bad
or like
for you.
bananas, like they have like radiation or something.
But, eating things in excess, but carbohydrates have been demonized also as another marketing ploy with another fucking diet. I think that if you were able to remove most prepackaged processed foods from your life, and not just prepackaged overall, because while you're not eating dried pasta, I doubt that it's the worst on the list of things. Like, okay, fine, it's prepackaged, you could eat it.
You're right,
fine.
but it is for me a step towards that. If I can make it myself, and I know, and I'm gonna know what's going in it, and it's not pre-processed, it's not full of anything that's gonna keep it on my shelf longer, then it's probably gonna be more enriching to my body than something else.
If you removed, really, I think processed foods with preservatives and additives, and you didn't count calories, and you just kind of ate in a more, I don't want to say authentic way, but just a way that
a conscious way, maybe
the way you would eat before there was mass-produced food all over the place.
Yeah.
Then I think the problem would take care of itself. That's why you're saying that there wasn't really an obesity problem previously. I'm sure there were people who were overeating. I also think that's probably harder to get fatter when you're not eating all the junk. Even if you are overeating a bunch of pasta. Pasta, there's a lot of emptiness to these processed foods, even if there's a lot of calories. It's like the sugar's the quick fix calorie, but it's not really giving you anything, so it's not meaningful and doesn't last.
It just seemed like the people that were making food to sell, like the grocery store stuff, it's in the the processed stuff, it just seems like things got real cheap.
That was part of the thing too. Yeah, that's why poorer communities, when they say food deserts, and I know that's become a thing that people make fun of, but there is a truth to it in that fresh foods are harder to access. And when you can get them, they are more expensive. And that's probably why they're harder to access, is because mostly businesses are going to run and sell what they need to sell to make the most money. And if you've got availability and it's more expensive and you've got the cheap shit that's wrapped in cellophane, and people are going to buy that, and then
also,
they lose
produce selection in worse neighborhoods, you get lower options, like you get lower tiered options of groceries, of produce and stuff. So even if someone was living in a bad neighborhood and was trying to eat more healthy, they're still getting a lower tier of the produce available, because that stuff's going to the higher end grocery stores first.
Yeah. So while counting your calories, I guess if you're looking to lose weight or even just maintain your health or just be curious about what you're putting in.
I'm trying to do both. I'm trying to get healthier and maintain health and then hopefully lose a little weight. Because I feel like I am overweight for me. I don't feel that great. I don't feel comfortable at this weight.
What are you
I would
weighing?
like to be less. I don't want to tell.
Okay. That still means something.
It does. It does, even though
I weigh 190, which is if you look at that BMI chart, I'm obese according to that.
That can't be true, because 190 is nothing.
For my height, 5'10", I should be, it says 170. But
no way, that's nuts.
But I'm not overweight. And I know
your
people.
Bones.
Yes, people say big bone. That's
you
not
have stone bones.
It's not a real thing, but it is true. There's bone density. I do, I guess, weigh a lot for my height, but I've hovered around 185, 190 for years and years and years now.
Your body does have its own weight that it wants to be at for whatever reason, whether that's hormonal, maybe that's environmental because of stress or whatever. Your body is trying to stay at whatever weight it needs to be at. And working against that is something that's really difficult to do. And I think what the movement really should focus on, which I think it does, but messages get lost in all the social media, is that you really should just think about feeling good. How do you feel? How do you actually feel? Not based on how other people see you or what other people look like, you comparing yourself, or even me being afraid to give out the number that I weigh. Outside of all of that, how do you feel? And if you do not feel the way you want to, there are probably some things that you could adjust to get there.
It's tough to find that baseline, though, because if you're making adjustments to your life, there's going to be a period where you don't feel so great before you level out. And so I think a lot of people also give up during that, like, ugh, I can't deal with this. I just want to go back to knowing.
Now we're talking the same thing about mental health. The same thing.
Yeah.
I just want to go back to the thing that was easier for me.
Food intake is, tied closely to mental health in many
what
ways.
a complicated thing. I feel like I've come away from this episode realizing how complicated it all is, because not only is it the physical, it is the metaphysical, right? It's also like, all those 600-pound life people typically were molested, and it's because they overeat, not only because it
That's true.
gives them
all of them.
I said most of them.
I'm molested though.
Yes.
Some kind of trauma, I'm sure, drives someone, and then you get to a tipping point where it's like, all right, I've passed the point of no return. I really don't give a fuck now.
It's not about giving a fuck. It's about keeping people away.
Sure, but continue. I just didn't know if it was.
So it's not only gives them like a release of whatever it is. Is it dopamine when you eat? Serotonin? I don't know.
Maybe both.
Yeah. So you get a euphoria. You get like a feeling that makes you feel good, even if it's not good for you. You still enjoy it like that, and then it also serves another purpose, which is like some sort of trauma response. So man, so complicated.
Yes, life is complicated overall.
Whew.
There's a lot of moving parts to it, and a lot of outside influences and things that are thrown at you that are not good for you in the name of just business and capitalism.
Did you wash your hair?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
No.
You lying?
I didn't know I had to wash it.
Yeah, you need to wash it.
No.
All right, well then we're washing it tomorrow, okay?
Fine.
All right, get your jammies on.
Hello.
Go on.
Hello again.
I am Nikki.
All right, no, we have to go.
Wow.
put your jammies on.
I would like to state
Hi,
that she had a robe on. She wasn't completely naked. I didn't see her naked body. So she's coming
Yeah,
in.
she does have a little towel on.
All right, I think you've lost control of it. The situation's over.
Hey, Elliot.
Well, it's not over. It's escalating.
Yeah, it's escalating.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up there then. No closing.
right.
No rounded out closing thoughts. You were there. You were getting to it. It's complicated.
Oh, that really, that's just what I'm saying. It's just really complicated. So I would, I almost feel like I went into, like I thought about, I should do this job, right? I should be a nutritionist, like help people lose weight and be healthier and blah, blah, blah. And then I took my first class and I start to realize like, oh no, this is really going to be hard. This is way harder than I thought. And that's where I am at the end of the show.
How's the weight loss going?
I haven't weighed myself since Friday, but I'm not gaining weight, so that's good.
That's good.
And I really, like I said, I'm going to the gym, and I look forward to it.
What do you do?
I'm enjoying
what do you do at
myself
the gym? Stairmaster?
I do the treadmill on 5 incline at a lower speed, like
That's tough.
3.5.
Yeah, the incline's tough.
Yeah, I do it at 3, which is not that fast, but my legs are short too, and I'm at a 5 incline. I do that for like 20 minutes to 25, 30 minutes, usually 20 if I'm bored. And then I do like weight things, arm things. I do leg things, and I do crunchy things.
Good.
And oh my God, the women there, their butts look so, there are these like 2 trainers. God, and their butts look so amazing. And so sometimes I think about like, I got to go find some butt stuff to do.
Yeah.
I don't mean that. I mean like butt.
I know what you mean. You want a protruding butt.
Well, man, their butts just look so good. Maybe they had a BBL.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe it was blessed. Maybe they have a blessed butt.
Big booty bubble butt.
Blessed. I'll throw another B in there.
A blessed booty bubble butt.
All right.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Please support our sponsor, hoffandpepper.com. You can get 15% off using our code OneTopic15 for some delicious locally made hot sauce in Chattanooga, Tennessee. It's amazing. Please support them. They're great. Also, they're on Hot Ones. They're a featured sauce on Hot Ones. So check out Hot Ones on YouTube. You can watch some guy that I didn't know and Jimmy Kimmel. And then I don't know who's next week. So go look at it and see who it is. Maybe it'll be somebody you like. And maybe they'll be like, wow, this hot sauce is amazing. So go check that out. Thank you. Okay, bye.